He's 40 feet away near the timeline. Now Jimmer sizing up Moss. Oh, no. Oh, yes! Oh, yes! Oh, for Jimmer.
Oh, no. Oh, yes. Jimmer Range is back. It's Carl. It's Alex. And we went from an episode where we didn't have really anything to talk about other than Louisville being bad to an episode where we have maybe too many things to talk about. So much has happened in the last week. Let's start off with the most recent thing we saw. Let's go Texas Gonzaga because, oh my word, that was a slaughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, 19-point loss. It was Gonzaga's worst loss in like a decade.
I was like, this is going to be fun. Like, this is going to be a little bit of a back-and-forth game. No one can claim that they thought Texas was going to light it up the way that they did. I mean,
people are going to say that in hindsight, but there's no way anyone.
The hindsight bias cannot be there. They shot 19% from three entering that game, and the gates of heaven opened up for them. That rim looked like the ocean. They could not miss.
What's crazy is that Gonzaga shot a higher percentage from three than them in this game, but it did not feel like that at all.
Nope, it did not. It really didn't. They were so hot. Tyrese Hunter, 26. Oh, my Lord.
26 points. Coming out party for Tyrese Hunter.
Just so good. Again, like I saw, I mean, Twitter was just college basketball. Twitter was insane last night, but we're recording this on Thursday for context. It was just like, I mean, we have to, we knew we had concerns about the guard play for Gonzaga. Nolan Hickman is going to take time. Like, Mark Few will have this team figured out come March. So, like, I'm not, 19-point loss, sure, concerning. You take the Carrier Classic with a grain of salt. We'll get to that later. But Nolan Hickman is not there yet. That's fine. He played sparingly behind Andrew Nemhard last year. Timmy had 18. He was really efficient, plus the 10 boards or whatever he had. So, like, you know what you're getting. Like, that's never going to change. But defensively, oh, my gosh, just Texas was getting whatever they wanted, right? Like, I mean, the Tennessee exhibition, take whatever you want from it. They gave up like 99 points.
Yeah.
And they give up what, 96 to Texas?
93, but yeah.
93. Okay, so 93 to Texas. Like, you just have to – they'll play in the PK 85 soon, right? They'll play one of, like, Duke, Florida, or Xavier, which will all tell us some good things.
They still have Kentucky.
They still have Kentucky. They still have Baylor.
Yeah.
To start December. Like, it's Drew Timme, you know what you're going to get. It would have been absurd to, like, ask much more from him, but I feel like he only took, 10 shots maybe? I mean, you got to give him the ball. I did not expect Brock Cunningham to do, just be – that was so much fun, just back and forth. I know Ryan Hammer tweeted that. But, yeah, it was a fun game. Learned a lot about Texas. There was some skepticism going in about how that Marcus Carr, Tyrese Hunter tandem was going to work out, but man.
I think it's working out.
It's working out if it looks like that. Plus, Dylan Mitchell is just something else in transition.
Yeah, my notes for Texas are I'm very surprised that they decided to try and match Gonzaga's pace. I don't know that I've seen a Chris Beard team really try to do that. He really let the offense open up, put the ball in the hands of his guards, said Tyrese Hunter, Marcus Carr, go cook, and they went.
Win us this game.
And I think in the future there will be games where they both kind of do their, kind of this ball stopping ISO thing, like a my turn your turn type of thing. But in this game, at least, they really, they got their points in the flow of the offense, and it just looked really clean. Marcus Carr finished with 7 assists. And that was a big concern going into the season is can he be a playmaker for this team? Or is it just you need to give him the ball, let him shoot, and then that's kind of the end of it. Yeah. The freshmen look good. Arterio Morris, the one comment I have is I was sort of surprised that he's playing basketball, but
obviously.
Yeah. Other than that, Dylan Mitchell, great game.
Him.
Dylan
Disu played well.
Yeah, Disu.
Right?
Cunningham wasn't even out there for that long, but he did everything. His entire contribution was in such a short time frame that you're oh my goodness, even Brock Cunningham's going off.
Well, yeah, like I mean, if you scroll Twitter, there were so many Cunningham just videos on my TL. Like it was absurd. But
Yeah, the underrated move by Texas to make the Moody Center a 10,000 seat arena. That home court is going to be crazy.
rocking.
I mean, they had the resources to make that like twice the size, but I think the fact that it's 10,000 seats is the environment there is going to be awesome night in and night out.
Keep in mind that's only like 1,500 seats more than Cameron.
Yeah,
just in terms of like atmosphere. Yeah,
it's going to be the Cameron of the Big 12, I think.
Oh, I like that comparison. I mean, Fog Allen.
Did you see Moody yesterday, dude? It was crazy.
Dude, I did. Have you seen Fog Allen?
All right. I mean, fine. It's a little bit of recency bias.
Yeah,
it's a little bit of recency bias.
I mean, Fog Allen is like...
It's a little bit of recency bias.
Yeah, but still. Texas, Kansas, Baylor, that top three in the Big 12, wow.
Yeah. People were telling me after this game on TikTok that it was fun. It was a funny moment just because I was like, yeah, Texas is a national title contender. Like at this point, if you don't think they're a national title contender, you should probably reevaluate that. And usually I'm the one to tell people, 1 game sample size, like don't overreact to 1 game. But people were like telling me that. And I don't know what else I need to see though.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
That they have the defense. I mean, the offense is definitely there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm comfortable with saying, and it's not even just 1 game. Like they've looked really good even before this. It was just now also, that they extended that to a team that's really good.
Shout out Ken Palm for like, in particular, shout out Ken Palm and then friend of the show Ryan Hammer for like having this, because like Ryan was calling Texas as a dark horse, like just national title winner, like before in the preseason, and then Ken Palm obviously had Texas opening as like 2nd in the country.
Yeah.
So I mean, could not have looked any better.
Right. I think both things can be true. That they're not going to be. I don't think they're going to be this good every single game. Like I think the way that they played, I think they would have beaten pretty much anybody.
They would have.
Yeah, but they can still be a national title contender even if they don't play this well every single night.
Yeah,
like they're a very very good team.
Yeah,
and that was. I mean, I was concerned going into the year because it is like. It's mostly the same guys from last year's team.
Yeah. And it wasn't a
Tyrese Hunter
like
into the mix.
Shooting. Yeah. And the shooting splits were not great.
Yeah. So it is a lot of the same. So maybe we see some of the same problems that we saw them have last year, but overall, very encouraging to see.
There's a lot of ecstasy right now.
On the Gonzaga side, I mean, the perimeter defense was terrible.
Yep.
There were just some really sloppy passes, like to try to force it to Timmy, or Nolan Hickman like dribbled the ball off his foot at one point. Like there's just a lot of things that I'm not used to seeing Gonzaga make those types of mistakes.
Yeah,
I'm seeing a lot of people, mostly Gonzaga fans. I think there are 2 things that are true. I think 1, it's unfair to expect Nolan Hickman to be Andrew Nembhard, right?
Yep,
that should just be a given. But I also think you can't just deny the fact that Gonzaga has to really be missing Andrew Nembhard right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not coming back. He's not coming back through the door. But I saw a take from Seth Davis. Did you see this? That was.
I'm excited for what this is.
He said he tweeted in a quote tweet to somebody. Nobody was talking about how important Andrew Nembhard was the last 2 years. I was like, what are you talking about? Like everybody was. Yeah, people who paid attention absolutely knew how important Andrew Nembhard was to Gonzaga. It's really showing. They committed 20 turnovers.
You know what I respect about Seth Davis? This is just a separate little tangent, but he has one of the worst college basketball takes of all time, and so it can't get worse. He wrote Virginia Sharpie before they lost to UMBC. It can't get worse than that. It's you can just throw stuff out there sometimes. And he is a great journalist. So, I mean, he's been in the game for so long. So, you can afford to have some of those misses. But, I disagree on the Nembhard thing. But I do love the fact that, nothing you will ever say. You could be wrong and right about so many things. Nothing you will ever say will live up to, one moment, Which is kind of scary in the world of social media. But, anyway. Yes.
So, Gonzaga is still... People are using this as confirmation bias to be see, Gonzaga sucks. It's that's just also not true.
Please pump the brakes. Relax.
Because This can't be an amazing win for Texas, a
then-
program-changing win for Texas, and also Gonzaga's bad. Like,
Yeah, no,
for it to be a
that's
program-changing win for Texas, they have to be a really good team.
correct. And they're gonna play so many high caliber teams in the next few weeks. Also, Texas shot ridiculously well in that game, and forced Texas played a really good game of basketball and forced Gonzaga. They just forced Gonzaga to not play Fuse style of basketball. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Just credit Beard and that team for that.
Yeah, they just can't allow. They had to at some point. It felt like they needed to start chasing guys off the 3-point line, and they just weren't doing that.
Mm-mm.
They weren't. They switched to man. I think like halfway through the second half. By then, it was
Too little,
too
late.
It was way too late, and it was like, what were you guys doing this whole time?
Yeah.
You weren't tracking guys in transition. You're leaving guys like Disu open for open threes on the wing. I don't know.
Yep.
They need to tighten it up. That's all it is. And it's Mark Few. He tightens it up.
He tightens it up.
They'll be okay.
They will.
But they have some things they absolutely need to fix.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go to the Champions Classic.
All right.
2 really good games. We'll start with Michigan
game.
State, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
I'm no longer concerned about Oscar Sheboy's knee.
Yeah. I don't think
I'll say that.
Great. He looked great.
22 and 18.
Absurd.
I'm not concerned about his knee anymore. Any fears I had about that are kind of out the window.
I mean, and Cason Wallace, had 8 steals in that game? I mean, he's just so – for an 18-year-old to be that instinctually perceptive and that just good defensively at that age immediately in this game is so, so incredible. You rarely see that. So, I also just like the preseason apprehension we had about this Michigan State roster is also vanished. I would
Not
say.
for me.
Not really?
Not for me.
I mean, they played Gonzaga. I get you don't want to take a ton of stock into the Carrier Classic, but they played Gonzaga close, and then they beat Kentucky on a neutral site. And Izzo's play calling late was just phenomenal.
Yeah. My thing with them, with Michigan State, they had a game against Kentucky where pretty much every single one of their starting 5 played well. Every single one of them had a good game. In a double overtime game, they got 9 total points from their bench. And they still, to me, do not have a go-to guy. And to me, that was their big problem last year.
They went to Hauser. He had 23?
He had 23 and 8 boards. And then Malik Hall had 20.
There's your 2.
Is that going to be the 2 the whole season, though?
They might have to be. I don't.
Yeah,
Izzo's going to apparently get them the touches, so they get the touches.
I guess. I mean, at the end of the Carrier Classic game, they call a timeout on the final possession to draw up a shot. And it was one of the worst final possessions I've ever seen. They had no idea who was getting the ball. It was just somebody, whoever has the ball with 2 seconds left, they're the one who's shooting the ball.
Well, I think Izzo learned from that. He put it in the hands of Tyson Walker. It didn't work out. Granted, it was outside and there was wind. But you saw what happened Tuesday. So, I guess it was just more so I shouldn't have doubted Izzo as much, even with their roster construction.
I still
Should they
have
have
them
hit the portal
finishing
harder? A little bit. But, he's got this team ready.
I had them top 5 in the Big Ten. I didn't think they'd be bad. I just definitely still had. I still have some questions. I just still have some questions about the depth, about kind of the hierarchy on the team.
Yeah. Are you concerned at all about where Cal goes between Sahvir Wheeler and Cason Wallace in terms of at PG at their lead guard? Because I saw some Kentucky fans concerned about it, and it is a debate that he's going to eventually have to solve.
Yeah, I've sort of thought about that. I mean, Cason Wallace is a better player, right? That's not disrespect to Sahvir Wheeler. I just think Cason Wallace can do way more than Sahvir Wheeler can. He's a way better defender.
Yeah, exponentially, ridiculously.
Way better defender. he can shoot. He's a better shooter.
Good playmaker.
I just
Great
think
size.
I think their ceiling is way higher if Cason Wallace has the ball in his hands more.
So
Like
that
he had a near triple double in his first start.
what would your 5 be then? If you're saying like this, like not even like they're closing 5 come March for this team to win a national title, what does it have to be? I mean, if you take out Wheeler, right? Like,
Yeah, Toppin, Sheboy in the front court,
yep.
and then Cason Wallace.
Would you go Frederick and
I'd go
Livingston?
Reeves.
Reeves and Livingston, or Reeves and Frederick?
Toss up between Frederick and Livingston, but I think Reeves should
Okay.
be out there. He's like
Just
he's
as
the
a-
bucket getter to me.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, if you're trying to close a game out, say you're down, right? Like I want Reeves in the game.
Okay.
He's one of the best. I mean, probably the best shooter on this team. Is that?
No, he shot what, like 44% on like dribble pick and rolls last
He
year.
didn't shoot well against Michigan State. I'll say that. He shot
No,
1 for
he did
7,
not.
but still.
There's
I
a
don't
large
know.
enough career sample size.
I
to
just want
dictate
somebody
that
out there
he's
who I
gonna
know
get
can
back.
score. And maybe if it's a game where you're trying to protect a lead, maybe it's a little different. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's fair. I like that assessment. I mean, so that top six, 7, or whatever it is still ridiculous.
mm-hmm. I mean, it's a good problem to have, having to choose
Mhm.
between Sahvir Wheeler, who's led Division I in assists 2 years, or just led Power 6 in assists.
I think it might be Power 6. I mean, Yuri Collins last year.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, but one of the best playmakers for sure. One of the best pure points.
Yeah, he averaged like 7 assists last year, I think. 7 or
Yeah.
8.
So it's a good problem to have, and the thing is,
Yeah.
like, Cason Wallace is versatile enough that you can have them both out there. Like that's not that's not outside of the realm of possibility.
No, that's
to put
not
them both out
indictment.
there.
Yeah.
Plus, then that helps with the defense. So
It helps a lot.
yeah, I don't mind it. I mean, Kentucky to me, like they're still really good. I've been pleasantly surprised by Michigan State though. I've been pleasantly surprised.
It's a good way to assess it.
Yeah. To me it is just last year's Michigan State team, but just like the good version of last year's Michigan State team. Like the one that could actually be good.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't really ever a point last year where I was like, oh yeah, Michigan State's gonna cause some problems. Like I picked against them in the first round of the tournament.
Yeah.
And they played a pretty competitive game against Duke, but like it was always Duke.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
And
the other
speaking
game.
of Duke.
The other game. Duke, Kansas.
Yeah.
Another thing that I've been pleasantly surprised by, Kyle Filipowski.
Yeah. I mean, those reports, I think, listen, like Duke Twitter was up in arms about the reports slandering an 18-year-old who's freshly arrived to the collegiate game coming from eyewitness accounts and like early preseason practices in August. I will say Javoni like came out and was like kind of like, I was wrong, but like I know what I saw in August, and like that has shifted since then. He was like Shire was trying to tell him to take more shots, to crash the glass harder. In general, just like play harder. And I think you saw that. I think it was it was not an efficient 17. I think he was like 5 of 12 on twos, and he was like 1 of 7 or 1 of 6 from 3. But with Derek Whitehead still sidelined, although he was warming up in the game, he looks bouncy, but they're obviously going to wait till he's 100%. Mm-hmm. Derek Lively is still pretty passive and is definitely not 100%. They're going to have to go to Flip. What I took away from the game was like I didn't take much away from Duke because like you kind of know like what they are without Whitehead and like without 100% Lively. Like Brian Young playing those extended minutes was never going to go well against that lineup. But I was more pleasant. Like I took more away from like Kansas's performance. Their interior rim protection without like Zach Clements in there as a 7-footer. You're playing a bunch of small ball and they had like 12 blocks or something. I mean, that's a credit to them. I don't know whether it was their defense or it was just Duke, but holding a team to 3 makes on 21 attempts from distance, impressive.
Yeah.
And then obviously like the star of the show, Jalen Wilson, 25, 11, 5. The slander.
All right. It's a good line, right?
It's a
But
good
what do you
line.
take?
Was it efficient?
What do you take away from 25 on 26 shots and 0 for 7 from 3?
Good vibes. Good
Good
memories.
vibe. Yeah.
Good
The
memories.
numbers look good at the end of the day.
My friend, memories. Never check when you win. Never check the efficiency.
You're right. You're right.
That's a words to live by. Also, why
Enough
were
to
they
win,
not
that's what it
putting the
was.
ball in Grady Dick's hands earlier? Which is to me like he closed with 7 points, 3 buckets in a row. I mean, they left him open on a 3. He should make that. He's going to be a 40+% 3-point shooter. But then
Yeah.
he had like that up and under finish, and then he had another tough bucket. But yeah, I took more away from Kansas's than I say and I would say Duke. Like Duke's still growing, Shire's still figuring it out. I think he'll figure out like he didn't have to play, like he could have played Filipowski as a 5. I don't think he had to have Young out there at times. And yeah, listen, Roach is your guard, but he's your guy. But like he still made some mistake. He obviously missed the free throw. He had the big turnover. Mark Mitchell had that turnover late when they were up like 3 points. That seemed to be like the little tide turner. But it was one of those things where like you have 3 super talented freshmen arrive in Lawrence, and you have 6 super talented freshmen arrive in Durham. But you surrounded the ones in Lawrence with several key returners from a national title squad, and you surrounded those 6 freshmen with 1 key returner from a Final Four squad. And that's kind of the discrepancy, I would say. And Yusufu was obviously so good. He didn't play a lot last year at Kansas, but he was so good before he got there. Like he kind of already adds that experience. But yeah, I would take away that both of these teams are really good defensively. Like again, I don't know. But
what do you think about Jacob Grandison?
I was worried. Some of the shot selections, man. They brought him in as that like shooter, and just I think there was the one he like left super short.
I mean, he didn't make a shot. He was 0 for 4.
Yeah, but he like left like in the first half. I think he got one. He like took 2 dribbles and like just hoisted it, and it was super contested.
Yeah,
and it was very short. Yeah, I just don't know. Maybe he's trying to like feel it out, but like it's got to be weird to come from an Illinois squad where you were in there closing 5 and as that like floor stretcher 3-and-D wing, the prototypical type, and like you come in like you're not that for Duke, and they're instead going with Mitchell at the 3, who like can't shoot.
Yeah,
it can almost exclusively drive left, which also is concerning. I'd like to see Mark Mitchell like get right. They don't have that dynamic guy yet. I'm not 100% sold Flip's that guy. I think Flip's going to be really good in college, but like it's got to be Whitehead when he returns. It really.
Do you think do you still think Flip is a multiple year guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he should be. I think he's going to leave. He should be a 2-year guy.
He's going to play his way into like a high second round look.
Low first. Yeah.
Yeah.
He is. He really is. But he should let that 3-pointer develop for one more season. He should be able to like score more efficiently in the low post. I get the upside is there with like his playmaking and his dribbling at 7 feet. It's all very exciting.
Yeah.
But he can prove defensively. He can improve on that awareness. To me, I left more like it sucks they blew a lead late. Like they could have beat Kansas, but I like Shire's. Yeah. I like Shire's take at the end of the game that like this is good. Like you learn more from your losses. Like we needed this to be able to grow. Yeah. And maybe that's listen. Could just be coach jargon. Quote. It could just be coach's jargon. But I genuinely got like a good sense of that, and like it seemed like the national media was also kind of behind that take. But yeah, this team's not 100% healthy, obviously. So take everything kind of with a grain of salt. The shooting, very much a concern. But I really liked it. Like Tyrese Proctor showed good flashes. Like, he had a couple stints there where he was like that primary creator. He had that one pass. I think he had like 9 points, which is the best. It's the best he's looked in a Duke uniform thus far. So that's kind of where this Duke team is at, isn't it? It's like flashes, like you see it.
Yeah.
And then they have 18 turnovers, and you're like, well, what the heck?
Yeah.
So comes with time.
Yes.
I think.
Duke's I have a lot of confidence in Shire at this point. I'm not gonna lie.
That's good. I like it. It was so it instills good confidence.
Because the defense, I mean, to your point, the defense has been very impressive.
Yep.
Like they went for long. I mean, they were playing Who they play, like Upstate.
They played
And, like,
SC Upstate in Jacksonville.
Yeah, so SC Upstate, not a great team, but they
Not a
held
good
them
team.
for long stretches without a bucket.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Or just one bucket, but yeah.
And then Jacksonville's like kind of a good team.
They're going to compete in the ASUN, yeah.
Yeah. And we've seen a bunch of ASUN teams upset power conference teams recently.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but Duke, Filipowski's been the best player so far. You need Roach to be good. Like, that's just kind of the fact. Like, he
had 16 points, but like it wasn't there.
Yeah, but he's in a weird spot because as the most tenured guy, like, he has to be good pretty much.
Yeah.
And then you have Mitchell and Proctor, who are both kind of figuring it out at the same time. Whitehead's not back, and Lively's not fully healthy. So this is not the best version of Duke that we're going to see.
No, absolutely not.
Not even close.
I genuinely think, though, when Whitehead is back and healthy and Lively's healthy, there are going to be stretches where that team is so good defensively with Roach, Blakes, Whitehead, Mitchell, and Lively as a quintet on the court. Like, I think the spacing isn't there offensively, but defensively, I don't know how many teams like are scoring on that switchability. Like, Roach is the only, because once a fully healthy Lively's there, I mean, we saw like the little spurts where he like stayed on the perimeter with the guard and hedged out all the way on a pick and roll. He was also delayed on some of those pick and rolls, and he obviously fouled DeJuan Harris, who can't score for anything on that crucial and one bucket late. But like the elevation on like his shot blocking isn't there, and he was very tentative like on the offensive glass. But all in all, yeah, still learning, still figuring it out.
Yeah, and with Kansas, my takeaway with Kansas is Jalen Wilson and Grady Dick are both going to be really, really good this year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about carrying them to like another Final Four, but they'll be good. Grady Dick, I'm kind of surprised that he's this good right away. Like, I read the quotes from Bill Self in the Almanac that of all the freshmen, Grady Dick was the one he was most confident would be good pretty much right out the gate. But it was still just a little bit. It's been a little bit surprising that he's really stepped up.
Yeah.
So, all right. I don't know that we need to touch the Carrier Classic. I don't.
Outside.
We've talked about both Gonzaga and Michigan State.
That's fair.
For Gonzaga, it just showed me the importance of Drew Timme because jump shots don't fall when you're on the aircraft carrier, and they had to force feed him at the end of the game to come back, and he scored he was directly responsible for the last 18 points.
18.
Yeah. So, and they're able to win physical games.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes we see Gonzaga as like this kind of soft team that once they meet a physical matchup, if you muck it up enough with them, like Arkansas did last year, if you muck it up enough, then you have a pretty good chance of beating them.
Yeah.
But I think they can be gritty and physical when they need to.
Okay.
But I don't think they're going to have a lot of scenarios this year where they actually need to be. So
yeah,
whether that's a good thing or a bad thing.
I want to say, just like a quick aside, when you on your TikTok video about the Gonzaga Texas game where you opened with like, well, hey, 911, I think I just witnessed a murder. Yeah. I was hoping like that sound could be used for the Trayvon Bazile dunk.
Oh,
because I just wanted to briefly touch on that, because if I am that SDSU player, I don't think I could ever show my face in public again. I respect him contesting it, but like that was one of the most disrespectful dunks I've ever seen.
Now that you've said that, I'm gonna repurpose the sound and put it over that highlight.
Uh-huh.
That was crazy.
It was an absurd dunk.
Arkansas is gonna be so much fun this year.
They are such a fun watch.
Yeah.
It's so hard too. There are so many games. Like, I'm having to pick and choose, and like I'm always seeing teams in spurts.
Let's do this. So we've kind of talked about all the big games, but here's something I want to run by you.
Okay.
I'm going to give you a team, and I want you to give me your concern level on a scale of 1 to 10.
Oh no. Okay.
North Carolina.
Like a 4.
Like a 4.
3.
They haven't looked great, other
I'm not
than like the
concerned.
end of the College of Charleston game where they just
Stop
put their
playing.
foot on the gas by the end.
Yeah. Oh, I was thinking of another game, but yes. No, not concerned at all. They'll figure
Not
it out.
concerned.
Hubert Davis is like that starting 5 is so good. They will, if they have to do another like Iron 5 thing again, they will.
Can you do that for a whole season though?
No, that's why you have your bench, and like it's okay to lose games, but
Like who do
they've
you
shown
think?
in
Like
March.
you would have said North Carolina is like the clear favorite for the ACC entering the season, right?
Yeah.
Has Duke closed the gap at all for you?
Not yet.
Not
Not
yet.
until I see them healthy.
Okay.
If I see them healthy and like I come back, I'm like, well,
Duke's closed the gap a little bit for me.
okay.
Just a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, listen, as a Duke fan who has suffered through Caleb Love going nuclear 5 out of the 6 times that he has played that team, yeah, no, like Caleb Love playing Duke is a top 10 collegiate basketball player of all time. So I wait to say that Duke is better than that has closed the gap against that UNC team.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I'm not that worried. Yeah, the bench production hasn't been there, but Puff Johnson isn't back. So
Okay. Next up, TCU.
7.5 because you can't lose that game to Northwestern State, but you also didn't have Miles or Ball. So
true. They also haven't played particularly well
when they had them
with
Miles. So 8.
8. They still can't shoot.
Yes.
Like that was all they needed to. They had one job this offseason, and that was figure out how to shoot, and they still can't shoot.
And they're one shooter left.
Yeah, he transferred to Creighton.
So, concerned? Yes.
Yeah, I'd throw it at about an 8.
Okay. I like it. I
just don't see how if you're struggling with Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Respectfully,
like
you know who didn't struggle with Arkansas Pine Bluff? Kent State.
No.
No.
Kent State. Quick shout out to the MAC, man. Kent State and Toledo. I give them both. I give them both a bid right now.
So inspirational.
Look at Kent State, man.
Look at the MAC. Look at the MAC, man. So inspirational. All right.
Villanova.
Oh my gosh. The fact that I watched that entire Delaware State game. See, we talked like kind of ad nauseum both on this podcast and on other ones about like this. I mean, gosh, that 0 for 16 first half 3-point showing is leaving a sour taste.
Due for some positive regression.
For sure.
I have Villanova at like a 6.
I was going to say 6.5.
Cam Whitmore is going to change a lot of things when
he's going to cook.
When he's healthy.
He's going to cook.
I am a little concerned about the guard play, though, other than him.
And like the Justin Moore Achilles, you never know how they return from that.
Because I think we projected that Mark Armstrong would be playing more than he is. But if you're giving like 35 minutes to Chris Arcidiacono, I don't know. Yeah. That's not great.
I will say, Mark Armstrong had a burst of 5 or 7 points against Delaware State to reclaim the lead, and then he immediately drew a charging foul right after I said the Mark Armstrong half on Twitter, and I just thought that was very fitting.
All right, last one, Tennessee. I actually have one more after this, but Tennessee.
Well, I mean, Grambling now has a transitive win over Tennessee. And technically, I guess so does UMass. So Towson has a transitive win over Tennessee.
Grambling has a transitive scrimmage win over Gonzaga.
You're right. Concerned about the 3-point shooting, yes. They blew the brakes off of FGCU, though, by 31. So that's a little better. They're going to be defensively so good.
Yeah.
Again, they're one of those teams I think they'll have a positive regression back to. I think they have to decrease the amount of the volume that they're taking threes.
Yes.
But if you're they're bound to have a positive regression, I think. Zakai Ziegler cannot shoot that badly for an entire season.
I just don't understand why Rick Barnes was like going away from the things that they were really good at.
Early season, you gotta try things.
I mean, I guess, but
I mean, you shouldn't, but like
you can get away with it, but
not when you lose.
Colorado's we talked about Colorado during our Pac-12 preview. They're feisty.
Scrappy.
They're just scrappy. They're gonna win. They're gonna get wins in the Pac-12 just by effort.
Yep, and then they're gonna lose to Cal.
Yes.
Okay, maybe that's a bit harsh. They're gonna lose to Arizona
Devin
State.
Askew's gonna drop 30.
If Devin Askew drops 30
on 35 shots.
There we go. Yeah. Good take.
Last one, Florida State.
Red alert.
Red alert.
Yeah. They're 0-3, man. I love Leonard Hamilton, but they are 0-3. That roster should not be 0-3. I legitimately cannot process why this is happening.
They're playing Florida next, too.
Dude, they're 0-3. Watch, they're going to beat Florida.
Florida hasn't been that impressive, honestly.
No, but like that would just be ironic. They're going to end up beating Florida for some reason.
Okay. Red alert though, like broke the scale.
I mean, a 10.
Yeah. I'm concerned. Yes. I'm really concerned
like
about
hammering. Like, is there a button that I can hammer?
They're still not fully healthy.
They're not, but
don't how lose long those can games. That be an excuse? Like they should have won all of those games.
Yeah. And Baba Miller got
free. Baba Miller.
Yeah.
Free him.
So I think that's going to have a big when he comes back after the ridiculous 16 games.
All right, I have some shout outs. Shout out to the SWAC for being better than the Pac-12.
Yep.
The Pac-12 is basically a mid-major conference at this point. It's kind of sad. Shout out to Amani Bates for his 30-point performance against Michigan.
Yep.
We don't have to talk about after that.
Nope.
We'll just let that.
Why talk about the bad?
Yeah, why would we talk about the bad?
Let the good fester, not the bad.
Shout out to the state of Texas for having
the best 3 basketball teams in the country.
The best 3 basketball teams in the country right now.
I've got shout outs.
Who are your shout outs?
I think I shouted this out on the first pod. But shout out Cade Tyson, hooping. Piedmont High School and Carmel Christian alum. Hooping for Belmont is their second leading scorer, playing only like 27 minutes a game. Great guy. Shout out Chris Collins for embracing the fact that Boo Buie and Chase Audige are streaky. The fact that he said that at a press conference and was like, that's what makes it so much fun, is both scary and exhilarating. Shout out Matt Nicholson for somehow keeping them in that Georgetown game, and then for the seniors actually stepping up. Shout out Feast Week for filling my life with joy as I approach finals.
Yep.
There's going to be a direct correlation between the grades I make and the amount of college basketball I watch. So, mom and dad, watch out.
A negative correlation.
There is a negative correlation for sure. And yeah, you know. Yeah, I love just shout out random corporate sponsors for these multi-team events.
Sure.
And the random locations. I just love
corporations.
So yeah, corporate. Big capitalist guy.
I was going to say shout out Brandon Podjemski.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. I was going to do a sarcastic one. I was going to say shout out South Carolina's guards for not beating G.G. Jackson in the post as he was guarded by a 6'4" D3 transfer.
Oh, sure. Yeah. It's literally Anthony Edwards at South Carolina. Or at Georgia. But yes. Georgia. It's literally the same.
Yeah.
They're going to be awful. They're going to be so bad.
They are bad, which is crazy to me because, shout out the ACC for, not making any sense. And shout out for the Big Ten for, looking good, I guess.
The Big Ten has the best record of any conference right now.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's not good for my ACC is better agenda, especially here.
I don't know if the ACC is better.
They're not, dude. How did that Clemson team lose to South Carolina with PJ Hall?
Bad. It looks good for my injury. It looks good for my Clemson is finishing 13th in the ACC take.
Yeah. Boston College storming the court after beating Detroit Mercy, bad look.
And then losing to Maine.
And I'm an avid court storming at all costs supporter.
Really?
You should not have done that. Yeah. That goes to like field storming too in football. All of it.
For
Big
any
storming.
reason against any team?
Yeah, most vibes, yeah. Yeah. If you beat your rival, storm the field, storm the court.
But what if it's just like a random game?
If you can find a reason, do it. But never do it if you beat Detroit Mercy by 4.
I mean, Maryland just capped off. Maryland has 3 20-point wins this season. 3-0.
Storm
3
the court.
20-point wins. Storm the court for the third 20-point win.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I buy that take.
Okay, maybe don't. But
I don't know if I buy storming the court for anything.
I just like it. I genuinely like to see people upset on Twitter. But what Boston College did was too far.
Mm-hmm. I want to get back to my Brandon Podjemski shout out. So I told this story on another podcast, but I'll tell it here.
Mm-hmm.
I tweeted this out, and his dad responded, which was fun.
Cool.
Yeah. So I remember last season, I guess, not last year. It was this January that Illinois came to Maryland. And Illinois was ranked at the time like top 15, top 20, I think. In Maryland, this was less than a month after Mark Turgeon quit. So the buy-in from the fan base was pretty low. During warm-ups, like not a lot of people were there. It was kind of a sad sight. Even though we did end up winning that game, I will say we crushed them actually.
I remember that because Kofi didn't play, right? Or did he play? No, he didn't.
I don't think Kofi played.
Yeah.
So there's that. But
no,
anyway,
okay. So you beat Illinois.
Win's a win. So it's pretty bare during warm-ups. Not a lot of people there. I'm on like the Illinois side, like pretty far back, and there's like a smaller group of fans, like maybe 3 to 5 people, who are in like the 7th row, and those are like the closest people to Illinois at that point. I don't know if they said something or what, but I just see this guy splash a corner 3 in warm-ups, and he turns around, and he starts shushing them. And I don't know if it was because they said something or just because, he's just him. But I'm sitting there thinking, like, who does this guy think he is? And then fast forward to this year, and Brandon Podjemski's him. Like, that's all I got to say.
It's him.
Only an absolute menace throws up the shush to the fans during warm-ups.
Doesn't play.
Yeah.
That's an all-timer.
I mean, his dad, I looked at his dad's Twitter profile after just to make sure, like, oh, yeah, this guy is related to him. Yeah. And his bio is like, I have a son who loves proving people wrong.
That's so good.
Pretty sick.
Shout out Bob Barron, Robbie's dad, always interacting with my tweets. Big. I enjoy it.
Big. We are the favorite podcast of parents.
Of athletes' parents.
Athletes' parents. Because we got Baycott's mom.
Hunter Salas's
mom.
An all-timer, actually.
We've had Eric Musselman.
Yep.
Who's a coach.
The premier coach.
Dad. I've had Juju Reese. He goes by Juju now. I've had Juju Reese's mom interact with one of my tweets.
I've had Ryan Young's dad interact with my tweets.
Yeah.
Shout out the parents.
It's just the parents episode.
We should make it that. We should try to spin it. That's our angle. That's our in as a podcast.
Yeah. I don't have much more.
Who needs athlete interviews when you can interview the people who created those athletes?
You're right. Yeah.
I'm ready to. I saw a I need to save the TikTok sound because I saw a girl who was like, some girl took a video of her roommate just spiraling because of something like in school, and she was just going, "Lord, I trust you. Like, I believe in you. You give your toughest battles to your strongest warriors, but I cannot handle any more of this. Like, I cannot take this. Like, please take some of this off my plate." Like, it was something to that effect. And I just know that's going to be me in February with Northwestern basketball. That's my takeaway. So in 4 months, I'm going to use that sound and make a video.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because they just the quintessential like 4+ game losing streak Northwestern is like guaranteed to have. I'm mentally ready for it.
There will be fun moments though.
There will be.
Are we walking back our Georgetown hype? Not really hype,
yes.
but like, are we walking it back now?
Yeah, I am so far walking it back.
Okay.
I'm so past walking it back, actually. I dug a hole for it and buried it.
Marquette clears them, unfortunately.
We're a week into the season.
I didn't want to believe it going into the season, but Marquette does clear them.
They do.
By a pretty significant. DePaul might be better than Georgetown, actually.
Yeah.
Like DePaul handled Minnesota.
They did.
Jameson Battle didn't. I don't think Jameson Battle played.
He didn't play.
Yeah.
He didn't play.
Still, handled them.
Handled them.
So, because I still have to put out my Big East preview predictions TikTok, which gives me time to
adjust
for the early season results a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think in my tweet I had Georgetown at 9, and at this point I might just have them 11. 12. I was like Cooper Watson's tweet when he did his ACC
and left out Georgia Tech.
His ACC power rankings, and Georgia Tech didn't even make the list.
So smart.
So funny.
Yeah. Oh, love college basketball. This is so good.
Yeah, it's great. There are still some teams I want to see that have to prove themselves a little bit for me. UCLA, I haven't really seen. They haven't really been tested. I need to see UCLA.
They will be
tested.
They will be. They play Illinois.
That's gonna be fun.
Isn't that tomorrow? Isn't that Friday? You know what? You know what is tomorrow? Do you know what is tomorrow?
What's tomorrow?
The Mac ASUN Dublin Challenge. It tips tomorrow, Friday.
At this point, I'm convinced you run the CBB Sicko committee account.
I do not, but if they bestowed me if they bestowed me the password to that account, I would be so honored. Because
how do we get in with those guys?
I don't know.
Is it one person or multiple? Like I don't know anything about
people. It is multiple people, and I've started laying the groundwork with some of my work at the Daily, covering this football team, pandering to this committee. We have other people that have had their tweets liked. So I will segue that into basketball, and I am starting that tomorrow morning at 4 a.m. when I get up to watch this game. I'm
disappointed.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed in the CBB Sickos for labeling Northwestern Georgetown as the game of the week and not IUPUI Chicago State.
No.
It was right there.
Hold on. I don't take this slander. Hold on. Did you see the possession to end all possessions? No. I sent it to you. You didn't see it?
Oh, no, I did.
Oh, yeah, you saw it. You saw it. That is James Naismith, what tears of joy looking down at what he created. Because that was college basketball ascending into its final form. Everything that I love and hate about college basketball was encapsulated in that 60-second interval. I wish we could show the clip, but the fact that Julian Roper, there was a missed shot and there was a long rebound and Julian Roper dove on the floor. No, Brooks Beinharzer dove on the floor and threw it up to Julian Roper, who then turned it over. And then Georgetown is breaking the other way. And they had something insane happen. They turned it over. And then Chase Aldis throws a full court pass and Julian Roper has a dunk and fumbles the ball out of bounds. It was so good. So no, IUPUI, while good, that is a great sicko matchup. You had Georgetown Northwestern on primetime television. That is America's game of the week right there.
All right.
And you want to talk listen, I will say everyone complained about all these there's no ranked matchups opening night, blah, 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 blah. The number 4 team in the country played the number 12 team in the country when Chicago State took on Northwestern on opening night. Was that the sicko college basketball rankings? Yes. Was that a top 25 matchup? Yes. So,
Well, IUP was the number 1 team in their rankings. So,
well, all I can say is Northwestern will get there.
really, you think so?
Oh, yeah.
So, will you consider the season a success for Northwestern if they enter the top 5 of, or get to number 1 of the sicko ranking?
Oh, my gosh. I'll throw myself a party. I'll throw a party. I'll say here on this pod, if Northwestern gets to first on the sicko committee, college basketball rankings, I will ask Collins about it in a presser.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I'll hold you to that. We didn't get to have you jump in Lake Michigan
I know.
for going 5-0, but that's okay.
That was unfortunate. I might have to make that proclamation again, honestly.
At some point,
switch up the vibes, you know the engagement
you got to
get.
Here's what I'll say about random college basketball rankings. So we have our little college basketball MacGuffin, with the transitive champion power ranking. So basically, it's Kansas enters the season at number 1. They lost to TCU, they had last lost to Arizona.
Yep.
But now Northwestern State has entered the chat. They have the 3rd degree claim to the national championship at this point. So if Duke had won that game against Kansas,
they would have been trans international champions.
They would be number 1 in the power ranking.
They would have the MacGuffin.
Yeah. They'd be number 1. UNC would be number 2.
Who would UNC? Kansas would be 3.
Kansas would just drop to 3 spots. Yeah. But then what would we do?
Stop.
Would we do? No, I think we just loop it back on itself. I think we go Duke, UNC, Kansas, Duke, UNC.
It wouldn't be like Duke's previous loss before UNC, so like Virginia Tech.
Yeah, we could do that.
We'll have to figure this out.
Viewers, it's hypothetical, so it didn't happen. So
yeah,
whatever, it's fine. But
yeah,
that's the closest thing we have to
the
sicko ranking. So. But it's great because we have Northwestern State, we have Illinois State, and we have Western Illinois.
Love it.
As the 3, 4, and 5.
It's amazing.
So yeah, it's great. And Illinois State and Northwestern State play each other again today. So, I mean, I think you just need Illinois State to win, and then the ranking just stays the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just flip. Right, those two?
No, they would stay the same.
Oh, yeah. True.
Yeah. Because that's the thing that I realized is when TCU lost, they stay on the list.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Like 2 is the safest spot to be.
It is.
Because if you lose, nothing happens to you, and you need number 1 to lose to fall off.
To fall out, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for where this journey takes us.
Yeah, I am too. We'll see how long we can keep up with it.
You're right.
Yeah.
Very true.
Kansas just runs the table, and this was all for nothing.
I'm going to lose my marbles. I will lose my marbles.
When is Kansas's first loss? When do you think?
It won't be. What are they, in the battle for Atlantis? Won't be that. I'll tell you that much. Or wait, are they playing Dayton in that?
Yeah.
Repeat?
Yeah.
No, Dayton did not inspire a ton of confidence.
No. St. Louis, St. Louis is the best team in that conference.
At this time last year, Dayton didn't inspire any confidence, and they beat Kansas.
Well, yeah, Dayton lost to like 3 sub 250 teams on Ken Pom.
I know. Anyway,
and then missed the tournament because of it.
I don't know Kansas's schedule, so who knows, honestly. Maybe Big 12 play. I don't know. Do you have Kansas' schedule up?
Yeah. They play Southern Utah tomorrow.
Nope.
NC State next Wednesday?
No. Terquavion Smith is not putting up – if he has to put up like Joel Embiid's stat line from a couple nights ago for them to win that game.
Texas Southern?
No.
Seton Hall.
That would be hilarious, though. No.
Then it's Mizzou on the road.
No.
Indiana at home.
Yes.
They lose that game?
Yes. It feeds into my Indiana agenda.
Okay. Well, it doesn't feed into mine, so Kansas has to win that as well. Harvard, it's a win. Oklahoma State.
Maybe. On the road or in Fog Island?
And Fog Allen.
No.
At Texas Tech.
Yes. There it is.
There it is.
So they're what, like 12-0 going into that game or something? 10-0?
Either way, we've picked, or at least you and Greg Waddell picked them to lose very early in March. So
I did.
Are you sticking to that when the bracket comes out?
I have to.
Okay.
Actually, no. I have to do what I did this year. Have these picks and then go against what I thought and then be like, oh, but I originally thought this, so I was right all along.
That's true. If you contradict yourself enough, you'll be right. At least.
Bingo. That's the mentality to have. Yeah. That's the mentality I'm striving.
I mean, that's what I'm doing with these TikTok previews. I'm not contradicting myself a ton, but like just enough that it's like, well, I had priors on that. So
yeah, well, I got left some room, you know. Oh.
It's fluid, guys. It's fluid. Yeah. Whatever.
I have 2 closing thoughts whenever we have to go into that.
Hit me with them. Let's close it out.
Okay. Number 1, shout out the Chick-fil-A peppermint chip milkshake. This is so good.
Not a sponsor yet.
Please sponsor me. I will drink so many of these. Secondly,
send my boy Alex a gift card, Chick-fil-A.
Please do. That would be so kind of you. I'm just but a young student suffering.
Yes. It's about to be Thanksgiving week, and nothing would make Alex more thankful than a Chick-fil-A gift card.
Yes. Actually, if you can guarantee the U.S. beating England on Black Friday, I would appreciate that. But
unfortunately, I cannot guarantee that. Yeah. So
the second one.
Yeah.
Speaking of sponsorships, Home Field, please sponsor us. Or 19.9, either one.
I sent them an email, and they did not get back to me.
Home Field? I'm going to send them.
But I sent it through like their form, and I don't know if they look at that.
I don't know. I'm going to send them something because I will wear, for every game Northwestern loses, I will wear whatever team that is, whatever school that is. I will wear one of your like apparel if you send it to me.
It's like
for like a week or for like until they lose the next game.
That's the inverse of Taylor Heineke buying a pair of Jordans in the colorway of the teams that he beats.
Yeah, but like keep in mind, I'm making minimal money. So Home Field, I will run out. So like I would need support from you. But
maybe I'll slide into Home Field's DMs. I just think it makes a lot of sense.
I bought so much of your Northwestern merch. You're already breaking even.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, shout out 19.9. That was a fantastic Davidson collection that I have to purchase some stuff of.
Ah, okay.
Oh, they like busted out like the 08 like Curry Run stuff. It was great.
Should we shout out East Bay?
No. We are. That is staying between us. Nothing the viewers need to know.
No. Until it's too late to act.
Until it's too late to act.
Yeah.
There's your little hint.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
My closing thoughts. Go Terps.
Gonzaga's
still good. What? Go on.
The Go Cats.
Go Terps. Gonzaga's still good. Indiana, prove it. That's all.
Hey, maybe Bethune-Cookman.
Oh, true. Bethune-Cookman, they have a transfer whose name is escaping me.
Zion Harmon?
Yes. It was like a jump scare when I saw that on College Basketball Out of Context.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, my goodness.
Miss that guy. Miss those high school mixtapes.
Yeah. Who is Kyrie Walker? You remember Kyrie Walker?
Yes.
He was him, bro.
He was so much fun on that, like, why am I blanking on the school? Hillcrest Prep. That was so much fun.
He was crazy. And then he tried to do like a straight, didn't he try to do a straight to the league path? And it just like didn't. I mean, he's in the G League
No.
now.
But it did not pan out like
It didn't.
many originally
No.
thought.
No. A lot of the they were ahead of their time, honestly, before because if
G
Overtime
League.
Elite or G League
Or the G-
Ignite
oh
were
my
around,
gosh. Kyrie Walker on Overtime Elite.
I mean, that's where he would have ended up. That's where like Darius Baisley would have ended up.
Ooh, good take.
Instead of just like taking a year off to train.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine like those two with what's his face? The Newman kid?
Julian Newman.
Yeah.
Julian Newman he would have been a lock for Overtime Elite.
Yeah.
Like
A
that is
lock. A lock.
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, he had his own show for Overtime, which I did watch. I won't lie. That was my keeping up with the Kardashians.
I wonder if LaMelo Ball would have done one of those instead of going to Australia.
LeVar might have.
LeVar.
If he got to take his show from Facebook to YouTube, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good take. All right. That's all.
Those are a lot of closing thoughts.
There's a lot of closing thoughts on Kyrie Walker of all people. All right. Well, thank you to everybody for listening and or watching. Be sure to like, rate, subscribe, do all the things that you're supposed to do with a podcast. We really appreciate any and all support that we get in whatever form that we get it, even if it's just a nice comment on a TikTok or something. But yeah, so follow us at Jimmer Range Pod anywhere, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Assuming Twitter's still around, who knows? It's going up.
It's not going to be.
That's all we got. See you guys next time.